Woo! Ooh, Lord. Ooh. Humana, humana, humana. Look at all these people. Look at all these fucking morning people here. Look at all of you. Look at all of you going. What is there to be said? What can we say this morning? Yes. Lil Burn. I'm gonna change my name to Lil Burn, dude. It's so much better than Paul. It's gotta be Lil Burn or bust from here on out. You don't even believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus piece? Dum Dum's already out. It's gonna be a morning. It's gonna be a morning. What's the origin of humana humana? I don't know, dude. Humana 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 humana. Yeah, I listen to audiobooks a lot. You have any tips for growing a beard? Stop shaving. Wait 6 months. Profit. There you go. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, though, yeah. I like audiobooks. I go to sleep to audiobooks. Not every night. Sometimes it's just like a... Well, I mean, technically, like, the stuff that I will fall asleep to on YouTube is audiobook stuff as well. Basically. You know, long, deep dives into the lore of a video game or whatever the fuck, you know. But, yeah, I like audiobooks quite a bit. I can't even roll in peace. 'Cause everybody noticed me. I can't even go to sleep. 'Cause I'm rolling off a beam. What age were you first able to grow a full beard? When I was about 30, I would say. Right around 30. My 20s were pretty rough, dude, like beard-wise. Always could do like the mutton chops. I know it's kind of funny because I've shaved it off, but this part right here, the connector, and this, like it wouldn't quite come together, so you would have this like patchiness. And then when I turned 30, it just kind of like... Where are y'all from? Cali. Mongolian Zen Buddhist. Cool. Neato burrito. American Taoist. Jesus. Man, look at this pile. It's a dog pile in here today. It's a dumb dog pile. Before you type, there's a couple of things you're going to probably want to do before you type. Number one, proofread the shit out of it. Number two, make sure it's not retarded. Number three, make sure it is something that you would say if I was standing 3 feet away from you. That's it. Them's the rules. Respect the vibe. Quit pretending, right? Act like you had a mama. Act like you were raised by a human being and not mixed up in a test tube. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's really it. What the fuck, bro, be yapping about? What the fuck, bro, be yapping about? Gotta go. Too dumb. Or what? You're about to find out, homeboy. You're about to find out. One of my wrenches is gonna grab you by your little ear, lead you to the curb, and give you a boot in the ass on your way out. Send you on your fucking way. Or what? Let's watch today. Wearing the Argo today. Love the Argo. Very comfortable watch. Love the leather strap. It's my only watch that I have that has like a... No, it's not true. But I really like these hard leather straps. See that's a great example right there. I want you to put yourself in my shoes, right? You're sitting in your backyard, right? You're chilling. Some dude pokes his head around the corner in your backyard and goes, "Stop smoking." You gotta go. I ain't looking for your fucking, like, here's the thing. A lot of people think, I think, that people turn on live streams because they're looking for advice on what to watch, what to eat, how to be, how to act, how to think. I'm not looking for anything from you other than entertainment. It's the reverse zoo, okay? And that's it. You can't elucidate me on a single thing. Not a single thing. So you may as well just give up on that idea and participate in the conversation like a normal human being. Because you got nothing for me. Your advice is not needed in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. You haven't heard the reverse zoo principle? I haven't explained that to you. So there is a paradigm with live streaming, right? There's a thought process. When you go looking for a live stream to watch, right? You're feeling like you're walking through the zoo, right? Oh man, here's an exhibit, But the truth of the matter is, you've stumbled into a fucking strange place. Because once you flipped into here and decided you were going to watch this exhibit, you became part of the reverse zoo, okay? I am wandering around the zoo, watching the monkeys, watching the apes, watching the musk oxes, watching the rooting hogs, right? And if I see an exhibit I don't like, it's canceled. You know what I mean? I'm the reverse zookeeper. I'm the reverse zookeeper. And you are the exhibit. You are the spider monkey exhibit. You see? You see how that works? Isn't it crazy? You must feel very powerful. Oh, I do. I'm dripping with fucking power. I'd feel even more powerful if one of you walked up to me in person and said some of the shit you say when you're hiding behind your shit. I'd feel even more powerful then. But unfortunately, none of you got the fucking stones to do that. It's whispery out in public. For some reason, people roll up in here behind their little profile pic and they think that every single streamer is going to allow them to talk in a way that they would never even dream of talking in public. That just don't work here, bro. That just don't work here. You can see how many of you motherfuckers I'm willing to allow to get banned. You will learn. You will learn. You will be trained. Chill, bro. Your reaction is why they do it. Their reaction is why I do it. Reverse zoom. Are you starting to zoom in on it yet? Their reaction is why I do it. Reverse zoom. When the chimps are throwing turds, I like to kick back and watch. You see? You get it? I think they might be starting to understand. Who doesn't have a picture? Somebody that has 15 alts and is used to getting banned and coming right back. That's why there's a picture rule here. It takes literally, see what I mean? I want you to try and like keep track, right, in chat. If you want to play a little mini game with me this morning, watch the chat and do the numbers on how many times somebody that says something moronic that gets them immediately banned doesn't have a PFP, and you'll know why that rule exists here. Take the fucking 2 seconds that it takes to pick a random picture from the internet and put it on your profile. I'm adding 5 to 10 seconds to your routine for alt creation. And if you can't do it, you're just gonna get fucking clipped no matter what you say. Unsolicited, yeah, well, it'll be that though. Unsolicited advice, feedback on my looks, right? And it'll be somebody that has no PFP because they're on their 15th alt. They're used to getting shit fuck hammer banned everywhere they go. What is your watch face? It's a stern glass Argo? Or are you talking about like... Gotta dye my hair. Oh shit. Hair dye. Do you smoke pot? Never. Never. What? Observe your uncle's case? No. What's your... What? I'm not a lawyer. No. Oh shit. Midnight Ghoul dyeing her hair. It's gonna be purple. It's gonna be green. Purple and green. Half purple on this side, half green on that side. Go. Purple, green. You want others' opinions or view? Okay. How do I find your uncle's case, homie? Have you ever asked yourself that? Would you rather fight 20 Chihuahua-sized gorillas or one gorilla-sized Chihuahua? One gorilla-sized Chihuahua. Paul, you said the day stream was better. Yeah. I mean, it typically is, though. There's more, like, a pass-through on the day streams. Yeah, this fucking chat has been fucking... Whew. Something about the last few days, dude. I think people are like... I think the focus of the electoral cycle brought people in, and there was actually people, like... you know, like engaging with some sort of topic they wanted to hear about. Now I think they're just bored again. They're just like... Bernard Murphy, huh? I have no idea how I'm supposed to find that, but I'll try. I'll try the Bernard Murphy. Bernard Murphy. And he said Pennsylvania. Bernard Murphy. Murphy. Sentencing for Seven Hills' husband who pleaded guilty to killing a man inside his home. This is Cleveland, Ohio. Is this the guy? Unban S. Merp, please. He was the guy I'm trying to talk to. Bernard Murphy, 45, pleaded guilty to the charge of involuntary manslaughter. His wife, Jenna Murphy, pleaded guilty to the charge of having weapons while under rehab. I don't even know if that's the right one. On topic of yesterday, do you think your classic NEAT convo inspired people? I know it did. I know for a fact it did. Because there are like several people who have DM'd me over the years since I started kind of ranting about NEATs and said, hey, Paul, I was a NEAT. And I heard you talking about how there's no excuse for NEATdom. And I started looking for a job and now I have my own place and blah, 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 blah. Pennsylvania. Okay, let me try it. Bernard Murphy. Something. Philadelphia. Bernard Murphy, Philadelphia case. I can't find it, bro. City of Philadelphia versus Murphy. This is from 1971, so that ain't it. That ain't it. Yeah, dude, I can't find it, bro. Nothing I can do. What's a NEAT? NEAT is an acronym. It stands for Not in Education, Employment, or Training. So basically doing nothing. Okay, so that's it. So the Philadelphia one was the old one. City of Philadelphia versus Murphy, Pennsylvania. City of Philadelphia versus Murphy. On April 6, 1971, Bernard J. Murphy, claimant, a member of the Philadelphia Police Department since 1954, was assisting another officer in subduing a struggling prisoner when he was allegedly struck on the left side of the head. He continued working and apparently did not report the incident. The next day, he began to have headaches and felt bad enough on April 6, 1971, to see his family doctor and then a physician from the Police and Firemen's Medical Association clinic. Still in great discomfort, he was referred to Dr. Axel K. Olson, a physician in Philadelphia, to whom he complained of difficulty with memory and speech and a left frontal and orbital head pain. Dr. Olson subsequently reported that the claimant had an occlusion of the left middle cerebral artery. He was hospitalized for a period of 20 days and unable to return to duty. Disability benefits were claimed under Regulation 32 of the Philadelphia, and the claimant had a conference with a safety officer. Okay, all right. Commission was undoubtedly correct in its finding that the claimant failed to establish a causal connection between the alleged blow on his head and the subsequent disability. The evidence consisted only of the claimant's testimony, plus letters and reports from physicians and hospital records. Nowhere is there any medical evidence, whatever, specifically linking the blow on the head to the diagnosed occlusion in the left middle cerebral artery. Yet, as we noticed in Hayes Supra, the burden is clearly on the claimant to establish eligibility of disability payments under Regulation 32. It's difficult to understand why the claimant failed to introduce any expert medical testimony on the issue of causation, especially after the departmental safety officer pointed out that there's no evidence of causation. So basically, your uncle, wrong case, well, fuck you then. You just told, like, get out. Oh my God, dude. You gotta go. What a waste of my fucking time and energy, bro. That's the right one. Starts reading it. Ooh, wrong one. You gotta go, dude. Whew, Jesus. I had a bad feeling about that one. Yeah. Just a rat race. Just a fucking wild turkey chase. You give me advice on my uncle's dog who lives in Timbuktu. Timbuktu. Walking a mile. Who's on first? Who's on second? Trolls, trolls, trolls. I love trolls, though. I really do. They try so hard, you know, and they get so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter, you know? I can't even remember what I titled this stream. The Magic Bean Merchant from Zelda. I'm not impervious to trolls. Sometimes they get me. Sometimes they nail me good, dude. Sometimes them trolls be trolling too good. You know? That's how I feel about it anyway. I feel like I'm susceptible to trolling just like your average dude, you know? Sometimes a good one comes along and they really know how to get up under that skin. It happens quite often with me. Crispy seaweed? Gross. I don't want to eat no seaweed. You ever seen raw seaweed? Oh my God. You don't want to eat it. It's slime. It's nothing but slime. It's just slimy. literally slimy. Better than it sounds. What are your thoughts on squatting? Cool. Go do it. In a market like this where people are virtually priced out of their ability to put a roof over their head, get in when you're where you fit in and sit and refuse to leave. Why not? Punish these motherfuckers. Ugh. Landlord pieces of shit. Cheap. Yeah. Admiral Burnside. Ambrose Zigo. These landlords own houses they don't rent out to anyone and expect no one to take shelter in them. Yeah, I mean, like, get in where you fit in, bro. I'm not going to cry a single salty tear for a landlord. Not one. Not one. Dude, I'll tell you guys a story, right? And this is like my temper getting a hold of me, right? So Amelia and I are applying at some different places for a house. We're looking to get out of this area. We applied with this company, this property management company, for a house, but it already had like 3 applications in on it, so we didn't get it. But because now we have our application on file with them, we can just use that when we want to apply for one of their other properties. So we found another property of theirs that looked good. It would just come up. We had just applied, right? So everything was from like 10 to 15 days ago. We just applied, right? So we send over our application, and the lady gets back to Amelia and says, "We need an updated bank statement." And I fucking lost it. I didn't lose it on the lady. I lost it on myself, and unfortunately Amelia had to be, I was just livid. I was like, wait a minute. I gave you my tax returns and a bank statement from literally September, or from October. And because it's 3 days out of date, you need to take a peek in my bank again. It's just like the amount that these people are up your asshole sniffing your business is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you have my tax returns. This is something you have to understand too when you work for yourself. It would unironically be easier for me to rent a home if I worked for Amazon and made half the money I make. I'm not even kidding. If I made half the amount of money that I make right now, but worked for Amazon, I'd probably already be in a house. So when you work for yourself, these motherfuckers want to make sure that you're not like some kind of drug dealer. And so they will sniff your butthole completely inside and out. I'm going to need more bank statements. I'm going to need your whole tax return. I'm going to need this. It's like, I've never had to argue with somebody to take fucking good money. ever in my life. So it's just fucking odd to me. And I lost it, dude. I lost it. I straight up lost it. I was just like, one more thing. If you send them this updated bank statement and there's one more little business sniff of mine, one more little discrepancy, one more little, could you send us one more of these? Tell them go fuck themselves. We'll go with another company. It's garbage. Have my whole personal life sniffed through by somebody I don't know? It's arbitrary invasiveness. It is. It's them establishing themselves as lords. It's one step from prima nocta. It's one step from, welcome to your new home. I'm here to have sex with your wife, as is my right as the lord of this land. Yep. Then you spread your butt cheeks open, please, so I can get my whole face up in there? Yeah, what's going on here? Is that a polyp? Just fucking retarded. It's like, here's my bank statement. Less than a month old, showing that I've got a lot of money. Here's my tax return showing that I have a lot of money and that I've made a lot of money for 10 years. We're going to need an update. Like, what's the implication? So they had a bank statement of mine from October. Now it's November. Is the implication that I've gone completely shit broke in the last 5 days? In the last 5 days, I've gone shit broke. I see. So you need to sniff my turd cutter again. Cool. Yeah, get up in there, bro. Unbelievable. It's like being micromanaged at work. Yeah, but it's not work. It's like in their minds, they're hiring you on as an underling to pay them money and to like these motherfuckers. A lot of these people, especially, dude. I have a pretty firm thing now. I do not deal with owner operators. I just don't. I will only deal with rental companies because at least there's a layer of fucking separation. Because when you deal with owner operators, bro, these people want you to cover the whole house in cellophane and hover. It's retarded. It's retarded. Yep, cover everything in plastic and don't walk on the ground. They want to be coming by and shit. No. I am not looking for a manager to be poking their fucking nose into my life. I'm looking for a place to call my domicile. And that's it. I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want to know who you are or what you are. Stay the fuck away from me. I will pay you your money every month and you leave me the fuck alone. That's the arrangement, right? I'm not looking for a life manager, a new friend. Unbelievable, man. So I'm just like, I'm triggered as fuck by the constant anal rectal scoping that has to go on just to get a fucking rental. And it's righteous indignation, too, that I should probably get rid of. But it's just like, my whole life, I barely made any money, and I was always able to get this done, right? Get moved. And now that I make more money than I've ever made in my entire life by a significant margin, I'm having a worse time getting a fucking rental house than I ever have in my house in my life. It's it's incomprehensible to me, like what's going on. I don't think so. You know, you could ask them. Maybe I'll ask them, but I'm pretty sure like down south, it's a little more easygoing. There's some about this West Coast shit. These motherfuckers out here, they'd rather sit on a house for 6 months than get a fucking renter in there. It's nuts. The South sucks, but it's chill. There are certain like easygoing things about the South for sure that are decent. Should you move out of the South? Why are you asking me? What could I possibly know about your circumstance? Do you like it there? Are you happy there? If not, get the fuck out. Right? There's your advice. I'm rolling off a bean. Oh. I can't even go to sleep. I can't even smoke in peace. Everybody notice me. I can't even do a stream 'cause of the skibbities. Kodak released an album. I know. I like it too. I'm a Kodak apologist. I can't even go to sleep. Oh. I think Kodak Black is the best rapper out right now. No shit. I don't think anybody else gets it. I think he's my favorite dude to listen to right now. What do you think about that? What's a genre that goes well with hip hop? Hip hop is like a blender of a genre. Pretty much everything goes well with hip hop, dude. You can throw classical music on a hip hop beat. You can throw fucking jazz. You can throw old like 20s, ragtime. You can throw country. You could throw rock music in with rap. It just blends, bro. It's like a big sponge. Hick Hop. I mean, whatever, bro. I can't even go to sleep. I'm rolling off a bean. Hick Hop, dude. Hick Hop. I like the name. Yeah. I like Kodak's old stuff, and I like his new stuff. And when I'm on like a long drive and I'm feeling like hip hop, Kodak is there. It's the first one I think of. I want to listen to some Kodak. I roll through the Kodak, and then I'll move on. It's the last time you went on an airplane. Ooh, I'm gonna have to think. It's been a while. Last time I was on an airplane. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It's been years. I know that much. It's been a lot of years since I was on an airplane. I can't remember. I literally cannot remember when my last flight was. Or why, even. Where it was, too. I don't fucking know, bro. I personally can't listen to music that long. Audiobooks are what I go to for long drives. Oh, dude, I do music the whole drive. Was being fat unhealthy? Yes. And if so, why are there fat activists? Because people want to be accepted. People don't want to be like prejudged as defective. But there's really nothing you can do about that. A human being will look at you, right, and immediately start sizing up what you are and who you are based on your your physical appearance, your countenance. And I don't think you're ever going to activist your way out of that. Nobody is ever going to look at a great big old fatty and go like, wow, what a healthy person that is, right? They're always going to think, wow, what a fat and unhealthy person that is, right? And I think that there are a lot of fat people out there who just want to be accepted. They just want people to look at them and go like, oh, well, there's a person. And it's just like against human beings' wiring to do that. You know, human beings are not wired to be accepting and to eschew superficiality. Like, we're just not built that way. People can tell I'm a lefty by my blue hair and the pentagram. Yes, that probably is how they be telling. Yes. You think morbidly obese people that use mobile shopping carts are just lazy? No, not in that act. Okay. Can I get a yes, no, or a Y in the chat for have you ever been fat? Let's do a quick chat poll. Have you ever been fat? Yes for yes, no for no. So we got some no's. We got some yeses. Looks like a pretty, 50-50 kind of situation. I appreciate the people being honest too, saying yes, right? Like, there's definitely every impetus to lie about that. So, for the people who have been fat, what do you think the best way to explain to people who have not been fat the pain of being fat? Because it's not just you get tired quicker, right? You have to imagine, and of course the question that set this off, right, was, people that you see big fat person in Walmart on a scooter, is that lazy? Typically when I see a person in a scooter, I wouldn't think that that person could walk from one end of the Walmart to the other one time without having a crisis. You understand? Like, I've never been waddling fat, like 500-600 pounds. I've never even approached, right? But at the type of fatness that I am, 6'1", 6'2", over 300 pounds, right? You have to understand that like every ounce of that fat is dragging down on your spine, on your neck, on your shoulders, on your lower back, on your knees, on your hips, on your thighs, right? Every part of your body has to compensate for carrying around all that extra shit, right? And so it is not comfortable being fat. It's not comfortable being fat at all, right? Like so when you see like a big old, like 400-pound, 500-pound motherfucker in a scooter, it's because they probably couldn't do it otherwise. In fact, they 100% couldn't do it otherwise, right? People that are that big, every step is like agony. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back is screaming for you to relieve it from this huge amount of baggage. And so if you imagine it like that, imagine a person that big walking into like a Walmart supercenter, right? It would take you, one of the people that has never been fat, what? 5 minutes to kind of like casually walk from one corner of that store to the other the long way, right? Dude, that fat motherfucker would be all day. They'd have to waddle, sit down, rest, catch their breath, waddle. You know what I mean? And that's just to get to one side of the store. Then they have to come all the way back to the front to pay. They can't do it. You understand? Paul, is fat shaming good if it makes the fat person change their ways and start to exercise, or is it too cruel? I would say that like typically what you would consider fat shaming doesn't work at all. Fat shaming, like in the sense of like just average, like you're online, you post a picture of yourself, somebody comes along and goes, fatty, fat, like that's not gonna change anybody's fucking mind, right? But fat shaming in a personal relationship, like if you're a dude, right? And I'm not trying to say do this to people, but I'm trying to think of like, if you're a dude and you're big and fat and you've got a friend that's overweight too, right? And you guys get in a compact with each other where it's like, we're gonna work out together. And part of that compact is when you see the other person slipping up, you're gonna shame them mercilessly. You're a big fat fuck, dude. Why you got a pizza box over there, bro? You think you need a pizza? You're a big fat fuck. You know what I mean? Like I could see that being fruitful. I could see that, but you see what the difference is that there's a consent there, right? Both people are agreeing like, hey man, we're gonna be merciless to each other over this because we gotta get thin, right? And so for me, that's like one reason I could think that fat shaming would work. But just walking up to a person who's big and fat and trying to make them feel ashamed, like you're probably going to make them feel ashamed. But are they going to lose one? Do you understand? Okay, let me explain this to you. This is a good point, so tune in on it, right? One of the reasons when you see a person that is big, waddling fat, one of the reasons that people like that exist is because they eat their feelings. You ever heard that term? One of their coping, like when you feel sad about something, all the people that answered no, I've never been fat. When you feel sad about something or hurt or down or depressed, what do? What is your coping mechanism? Because it definitely isn't eating your feelings, right? So what do you guys do? All of you that answered like, no, I've never been fat. Drugs? Okay. All right, fair enough. Listen to music. You do drugs. So a lot of people, so you're right. There are unhealthy coping mechanisms, right? There are healthy coping mechanisms. It seems like some of you skinnies, you lifelong skinnies, have healthy ones. Some of you have unhealthy ones, right? So if you, as a person who doesn't know a big fat person, come across that big fat person, right? And you make fun of them. You know, you start doing the tuba sound when they're whatever. You shame them. You make them feel ashamed. A fat person that's that big is probably going to gain weight because of what you did, if anything. You're going to hurt their feelings. They're going to feel awful about themselves. They're going to think, what the fuck is the point? And they're going to go home and cry and eat a whole fucking gallon of ice cream off of your shit. Like, that's the best case scenario. So it's just like that type of anonymous, mean-spirited, out of nowhere, apropos of nothing fat shaming does nothing. It, in fact, exacerbates the problem in people that have, like, food addictions and shit. That's how a big fatty like that copes. Right? If their feelings are hurt, if they have a bad day, right? They're going to go home and they're going to drink a fucking 2-liter of Coke, and they're going to order a giant family-sized pizza for themselves, and they're going to eat the whole fucking thing. And you did, you know, I'm not saying you made them do that. I'm saying you were part of the environment that pushed them into that unhealthy cycle, right? You made them ashamed of themselves. You made them sad about how they look. You made them feel bad about themselves when they already feel bad about themselves, right? It just doesn't work. I don't understand what the argument is. But I do think it's because of the non-empathetic replies of some people that have just never been fat. Like, people that are fat typically are eating their feelings. They're hurt by something, right? They're broken in some way. And I'm not saying they have no responsibility. I'm not trying to say, like, please don't take it that way. But I'm just saying, you gotta understand the thing. Can bullying sometimes build character? Yes, but I don't think it's necessarily the only way to build that type of character. Like, but yes, I think that learning to deal with bullies in one way or the other can build characters, can build character within a person. Yes. I think we've been doing this long enough to hit the monkey button now. It's a shame that it needs to come on, but it's just, there it is. Time to cash in. Time to cash in on them subs. Paul, do you think bullying is worse for kids nowadays? No. Well, in certain ways, I think it could be, yeah. In certain ways, I think it could be. Like, when I was a kid, right? You were bullied at school, but when you were at home, the bullying stopped. But what kids these days deal with is that a lot of that bullying doesn't even take place at school anymore. It takes place online, right? So on their Facebook or on their TikTok or whatever you're allowing your child access to, they're getting bullied there. So in some ways, I feel like, It could be worse for kids nowadays because they just aren't equipped to escape it, right? And, you know, it's very easy as an adult to go, just log off, little bro. But when you're a kid and your whole world is in that internet kind of like environment, that doesn't make sense, right? Like that's where you socialize. That's where your friends are. That's where your bros are. That's where all the chicks you like are, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I will have to say that I think in-person bullying has the propensity to be way more damaging than online bullying, right? You can't get punched in the face online yet. They haven't figured out how to do that yet. So in-person bullying still takes the taco for me personally, but I could see the argument, right? It's a different thing now. You've got mail. Oh, bullied. Do you have an iPod back in the day, and how big of a game changer was it? Dude, I was a late adopter to the fucking iPod game thing because, like, for me, I didn't really have like I was working, right? So you can't wear a Walkman at work. And so I just had a really nice fucking sound system in my car, and I would burn CDs, right? I got this was before like the aux cable thing could hook up to a digital phone and shit. You would just burn, like, you could just throw whole folders of MP3s on a CD, and if you had the right kind of deck, which I did, right, it would just read that, and you could play a billion. So I just had all my shit on discs back then. I was never a Limewire guy because Limewire was like I hate to say this, dude, but I was a little too savvy. Like LimeWire was a last resort, but like as soon as like peer-to-peer started, I was the member of like a private tracker or a private FTP for file sharing with a smaller group of dudes. And so yeah, like I would do that, and if I couldn't find it that way, I would just torrent it on a private tracker, right? Paul, America spoke. They didn't vote. You were right about no confidence. America spoke. Bosch needs to catch up. Oh, yeah. Oh, vouch. Oh, vouch. At least the Atlanta suburbs voted. Well, at least we got the suburbs of Atlanta. That was good. I had a car with a 5 CD player. Yeah, that I just skipped that, bro. So I had the first sound system I bought was a Kenwood deck with 2 Lanzar 12s in the back. Big ass fucking what do they call it? Amp. And then replaced the door speakers on my Tempo with some higher end tweeters and some better mid ranges and shit in the dash. So the whole thing sounded so fucking good. Lined the trunk so it didn't rattle. You know what I mean? You didn't get that when the that's bullshit, dude. If you're in California, you gotta line your trunk. So the trunk was nice and lined. Boom, boom, while I'm riding. You know what I mean? You can hear me coming 2 blocks away. That's what I cared about, bro. I skipped out on the fucking crazy iPod stuff, and because like like my bedroom and my car was where music happened. You got explodes, dude. Hey, sounded better than the motherfucker that didn't have explodes. I never used a visor holder, bro. I just had the big booklet of CDs, and I would write in Sharpie what was on it. Chill Mix, Old Hip Hop, ICP, you know, whatever fucking big-ass group of shit that I wanted to listen to. I would just flip through, find what I thought, pop it in, hit fucking shuffle, and go down the street. So it was basically just like an iPod with extra steps, right? But I just, because of that, because I had that in place my whole young life, I never wanted an iPod. I didn't. So by the time I never even got an iPod. I got some other MP3 player, and I used it with an aux cable for a little while, but it ended up being just kind of a pain in the ass because you got to keep it charged, you got to do this, you got to do that. I just stopped using it. And then, of course, as you all know, like digital music became a thing. Now everybody just streams to their car. You 300% have children in your basement. I keep them in the attic because I don't have a basement, but you got me. Flowers in the Attic. You ever seen that movie? It's like that. You think Kyle Kalinske will get out of his news bubble? I think he's been forced out of it, at least temporarily, but we'll see. Did the smartphone make humans dumb, or did it just bring out the dumb in us? It definitely didn't make us dumb. It might just like make you able to see more dumb on the day to day. I think that's kind of what it did, right? I can't even roll in peas. Vinyl or CD? No, dude, I'm 19. I was born in 1980. So when I was a kid, my parents, like right around the time I was born, were upgrading to tapes, and then very soon after that, CDs from 8 tracks. And so when they upgraded their, sound system in the living room and shit, I got the old one, and it had an 8-track player, turntable on the top. And they gave me, because I was so into music and I loved listening to it in my room so much, they gave me all their vinyl and all of their 8 tracks. And I would just pop in whatever I wanted to listen to. So yeah, man, I started deep analog. And then my parents were audiophiles, so they got like pretty early on, they got the CDs, started getting their music shit transferred over, buying all the new albums on CD and shit. And when they would do that, because I was into music so much, they would just give me their old analog shit, and I wish I still had that shit, bro. But yeah, boombox was a thing. Like we had a little boombox we'd take out in the back, plug it in. Yep, I went to a couple of music festivals. I went to Summer Sanitarium back in the early 2000s, and I had a very drunken kind of Tibetan freedom day that I barely remember. Your parents listen to ABBA? My parents listen to everything. When did I start smoking? 13. Like, cigarettes or weed? Started smoking weed before cigarettes. Started smoking weed at 13 as often as I could. And I started smoking cigarettes at 15, 14, something like that. to some of the worst jobs. The worst job I ever had, craziest job, was I was a selector at a place called CRA, Container Recycling Alliance. It was a recycling place for glass. These big, giant truckloads of recyclables from the Bay Area would come in, and it was basically garbage, right? And I was one of like 10 selector guys who would stand on the belt that came out of the big hopper. And it was my job to, with big thick gloves, pick metal and ceramic out of that and any kind of like large trash. There would be a big bin in front of me, and I was just doing that all day. Diapers, tampons, needles, hypodermic needles, the worst kind of shit you can fucking imagine. Coming by on a thing and you got to grab it with your gloves, wearing a big respirator mask. Garbage. That was a fucked up job. That's the type of job that'll make you like appreciate a job at a fucking McDonald's. I did that job for a summer. So it was like a summer job that I worked. Made decent money. But holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit, 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 shit. Holy shit, 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 shit. They say garbage men, women have some of the best immune systems. They probably have to. I'd work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., then get 3 or 4 hours of sleep and get my car fixed. I hate my job. You need to find another job, Abs. I think you and your family need to move and start something fresh. I get that feeling from you. I get that feeling off of you. I'm going to give you that unsolicited advice. You guys need to make a plan, get the fuck out of that area, and get something new. Do homeless people have great, well-developed immune systems too, then? I would imagine some of them do, yeah. Jesus Christ. It's enough. Let's let that sink in. Jesus. I'm stoned. How did that happen? Why am I streaming? I gotta get a hat. Good morning, D. Good morning. He was finally ready to wake up. Finally ready to wake up. Oh my God, dude. I just blew my nose. And I swear to God, a pint of shit came up out of my nose. A pint. I'm literally allergic to everything. Fucking sucks. A pint, bro. After watching The Substance, I thought about how there's a message about how when you're younger, all the dumb shit you do affects your older self. I mean, there's like, one of the reasons The Substance is such a great film, in my opinion, is because it's as deep as you want it to be. If you want, and I love that about a film. You could say the same about a lot of Kubrick films, right? If you want to experience them on the surface level, they're beautiful, compelling. In the case of The Substance, kind of gross, right? If you're into that sort of thing. If you want to just engage on the body horror level, you can. If you want to start digging down into the layers of messaging going on there, it's a movie about, in my opinion, the overarching kind of message of the movie seems to be how the entertainment industry uses women up in particular, right? Men, when they get older, tend to continue to go on and have these really auspicious careers. But when women get older, very few of them are taken seriously after they're not young and beautiful, right? So there's that. There is just separating it from that main plot point, right? There's the body image thing, right? Watching yourself get old, lusting and desiring desperately after youth, right? And you see that reflected in our society when you walk by an old woman whose face looks like it's 90% plastic, silicone, lip fillers, and Botox. And you can tell she's 80, but her face is smooth as a baby's ass, right? That's reflected in our society as well. That's part of the commentary of The Substance. Another part of The Substance that nobody really talks about is, but it's definitely a sub-theme, is this kind of like pop-up FOMO thing. You guys know what I mean when I'm saying that? This kind of secret club, like I got this merch because I fucking showed up at this pop-up and I'm the only one that gets it. There's that like pop-up FOMO kind of like, I'll do anything because it seems secretive and exclusive kind of thing, right? I don't get FOMO, right? It's something that I actually find really interesting because I believe an almost entirely modern construct, marketing and manipulation construct, right? And it doesn't work on me. I don't get FOMO. I don't get like, oh my God, I gotta be there. I gotta have this. If I'm not there, I'll never, you know what I mean? I don't get that. No, I'm not trying to shit. Like it's a construct that doesn't, like jibe with me. It doesn't work on me, right? Or at least I don't experience it in the way that it's described by a lot of people. So, but yeah, that's part of the commentary there. Just like body positivity and self-acceptance is part of the commentary, right? The value in just loving yourself to a certain extent and accepting yourself for who and what you are. I mean, there's the obviously, I already talked about it, but just like the surgical critique, right? Kind of like the plastic surgery craze and the critique of that. I gave up my FOMO. Are you a jealous person? Depends on the context, but I don't really see myself as that. I certainly don't think that I've like I'm trying to go through the flip file of my life, right? And did I ever make some stupid fucking decision that fucked me up because I was super jealous of something or someone? And I can't come up with any. Do I experience jealousy? I'm sure, yeah. But I don't think it's like a defining characteristic of who and what I am. Envy and jealousy are kind of like pretty muted in me from what I understand. In Toledo, Ohio, where I live, we have really cheap homes. I got my home for about $50,000. Yeah, but why the fuck would you want to fucking live in Toledo, though? That's the problem, right? I mean, I get it. Good for you. But, like, I've been to Toledo, and let me just say, dude, nah. Mm-mm. Used to be very envious of those around me. Yeah. I just wasn't like, I don't know. I just never had that. You know, when I was a kid, I probably experienced a little, oh, he gets a video game, but I don't. I'm not saying I'm completely immune from it. I just wasn't raised in an environment where that was ever rewarded or anything, you know? Oh, boy. Front-loading the ginger today. I felt it coming. Very first edge of that, like, nausea. I gotta start listening to that. Run in, get the ginger. Well, Pinky and the Brain was a sub-show of a show called Animaniacs, and yes. Pinky and the Brain, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. When I was a kid, I was covetous as fuck. A friend had a game or a bike or anything I didn't have, I wanted. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those traits just hold on in people, man, and people just, like, walk around in envy. It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. We're zany to the max. We've got baloney in our slacks. What are we going to do today, Brain? Simple, Pinky. To try and take over the world. Here you go, baby. Sorry about that. This fucking table. I want to get a big table. Yeah. I want to get a big table and then put it in our beach front backyard on our private island and move there. I've decided. We're moving to a private island, baby. Congratulations. Aloha. You and I are going to fucking Hawaii and we bought a private island. Ever play Animaniacs on the SNES? I wasn't a SNES kid, so I missed out on a lot of like the weirder games on it. I was a Genesis kid. Because Genesis does what Nintendo don't. You know what I mean? Sega! Plus, Sega had the edgiest commercials back in the day, too. Sega was definitely the prime company that was like turning parents into dumbass fucking cave people, right? Your parents just don't understand, man. Turn down that music. Blah. No, Sonic the Hedgehog will blow their fucking wigs right off the back of their liver-spotted heads. Dude, the 90s were dope. Let's not lie. Can I have that ball? Can I have that ball? Oh, get the ball. Get it. Bring it. You have to bring it.
Oh, it almost went in the bush.
Nah. Dad's angling it just perfect so it gets an extra bounce. See? Do you have the 32X? Dude, I had the whole shebang bang, bro. I had the OG Genesis with the OG Sega CD and the OG 32X. I had the Frankenstein's monster, bro. By the way, the 32X was worthless. There was not one game on the 32X that was worth getting the 32X for. It was a goddamn worthless piece of shit. But the Sega CD was dope. My favorite console of all time, Sega CD, dude. That shit was dope. That shit was dope. I had the Sega Drive. Oh, the memories. Oh, yeah, dude. Sega CD. Look, they called it over here. And it was dope. Let me just tell you guys something, dude. The best Sonic ever came out on Sonic CD. Sonic CD is the greatest Sonic game ever. Yeah, every level in it is 3 levels. You've got past, present, and future versions of every level, and it unlocks different shit. You're traveling through time. It's fucking great. The soundtrack, unbeatable. Hold up. I'm gonna pull up the Sonic CD soundtrack, right? Watch this. Give me a sec. And I'll give you just a little taste of one fucking random song from it. Okay, so let's just see. I'm just going to skip somewhere in here. Listen. Skip around. Get off my nuts. Just get off my nuts. So that game alone was worth getting a Sega CD for, but it had all these great fucking games. Like, people hate on them sometimes, but Sewer Shark, dude. Some of the FMV games were actually dope. Sewer Shark was dope. Night Trap was dope. Ground Zero Texas was kind of fun, but not that dope. There was a Sherlock Holmes game on it that I played a lot. I played the shit out of the Sega CD Shinobi re-release that was arcade perfect. The Shinobi, I think it came with Shinobi 3, arcade perfect. Oh my god. I think it also came with Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. Oh my god. Dude, Sonic water levels were a whole different level of anxiety as a kid because of the timer where he starts drowning if you don't find a bubble. Yeah. Nightmares. Nightmare scenario. What do you think of the Halo games? The first Halo game blew my fucking wig back. Like, because it was really like the first game that got that, like, you're in an open world, you can jump in a Jeep, your friend can jump on the back of it and be on the machine gun, right? It was just crazy. It was, like, now it's expected, but back then, it was crazy. And so that first game was wild. But after that, I just kind of got bored of the Halo thing. A little too slow, a little too clunky. And once other games started doing what it was doing, I just found other games that did it better, you know? The timer sound, yeah, dude. It was fucking anxiety inducing, dude. Oh, no! Yeah, dude. Vietnam flashbacks right there, bro. I was in the shit for a second, bro. I was literally in the underground water temple, trapped by one of those rotating platforms, and I could see the bubble. Oh my god, bro. Why did I have to do that to you? Because that's, you know, if I have to be triggered, so do you. It's the way I feel about it. Battletoads is a dope fucking game, but I will tell you this. The hardest second level of a video game in video game history. And it's fair. It's not even unfair. It's just hard. It's like it goes from a cool beat 'em up, right? And then level 2 is this insane jet bike race thing that you have to do. And it's fair, but it's just so hard and requires so much fucking precision. And then after that, no, well, Turbo Tunnel is hard but fair, and it is hard. There's no way, Cooney, man. See, you're talking bullshit. Fire up a stream right now, and I'll put it on. Fire up a stream right now and show us a one-shot Turbo Tunnel. One-shot Turbo Tunnel. You're bullshitting. It's hard but fair, right? And a lot of people hit that barrier and just was like, oh, this game sucks. But if you get past that, it's just a beat 'em up. And it's fun. Did you hear some weeks back that the British authorities were claiming that they were going to extradite U.S. citizens for illegal memes? Huh? The fuck is an illegal meme, bro? You Brits are wild. Just log off, British Parliament. It's not that hard. Did you hear some week backs? Yeah, no. Well, free speech. That is one of the reasons why I stay right here in the good old United States of America. That's why. Freedom of expression and freedom of speech are important. even when it comes to speech you don't agree with, right? Should neo-Nazis be allowed to exist in America? So that question comes down to mind policing at a certain point, right? Most neo-Nazis aren't running around with swastika tattoos on their bald heads, Sieg Heiling around town, right? Most neo-Nazis look like average fucking people. And what are you going to do to root them out? You know what I mean? They absolutely have freedom of speech. They have the freedom to be incorrect. What they don't have the freedom to do is incite riots and spread malicious hate with the intent of causing violence against a protected group. They can't do that. Nobody gets to do that. But as far as you wanting to like get in a little coven of your friends and LARP Nazism or whatever, who's stopping you? All right.
In the U.S., it's not a hate crime unless some other crime has been committed along with the hate.
Right.
The hate itself isn't a crime.
Right. But you know, like I feel like I would be as a free speech advocate, I would be completely fine cracking down on Nazi demonstrations and demonstrations where the basis of it is to try and rile up or denigrate another group of people. I see no reason in America allowing or acquiescing to that kind of fucking bullshit. If we're going to allow it, I think we need to disallow head coverings so that everybody can see who's participating in it. Because you know what happened after, Charlottesville? When all that video of all the white supremacists and shit with the torches, right? People started fucking finding out who these people were. And they got fucking social and personal and, employment repercussions for taking part in a fucking Nazi rally, right? And so now what they do is they all wear balaclavas and shit. I think that should be illegal. If you want to be a fucking hate monger, do it with your face out. Have the balls to do it with your face out or keep it in your fucking pocket. Right? But as far as you getting together with your friends and, LARPing Nazism or believing Nazism or whatever the fuck, who's stopping you? You got the right to be wrong. There was a dude who lived a few floors up from me that had swastikas and SS tattoos. He was a very friendly guy, oddly enough. Well, you can't judge people by that sometimes because there are people that got swept up into that shit when they were young, that repudiated it, that don't believe in getting it removed off of them because it is part of, like their past, and they feel like atoning for it means that they have to kind of wear that badge and shit. I've known people like that. I've known people that got gaffled up into prison or something as 18, 19, 20-year-olds, got in a prison gang, got a swastika tat. Now it's 20 years later and that's behind them, but they still have it. You know what I mean? And when they talk about it, they talk about how stupid it was and this, that, and the other. He still believed it. Well, that's different, right?
Well, yeah, like a racist can be real nice to you if you're the race that they don't hate.
Right.
Like I met someone that was in the KKK and he was a real nice guy to me.
Of course he was. You're the right color. Or did it to survive in prison. Yeah. I mean, it's like you can't always take everything at goddamn face value, but on the flip side of it, throw up the flag and it is what it is. Go back and watch American History X. Prison has a lot to do with it. That movie isn't really it's about getting de-radicalized in prison, not getting radicalized. That movie is about getting radicalized as a young man, and then getting out of prison. That movie is about getting de-radicalized in prison, not getting radicalized. That movie is about getting de-radicalized in prison, not getting radicalized. That movie is about getting de-radicalized as a young man, and then getting out of prison. That movie is about getting de-radicalized in prison, not getting radicalized. That movie is about getting radicalized as a young man, committing a murder due to that radicalization and then being de-radicalized in prison, which is kind of sometimes the inverse of what actually happens, right?
You think there's a mixed messages with the ending, or is it just kind of saying like, even if you do right, life sucks?
Well, your actions have repercussions.
Yeah, no matter how much you apologize.
And sometimes, no matter how much you try and make something right, you cannot, right? And your life, like the things that you do and how you treat people and the decisions you make in your life have endlessly rippling consequence, right? And there are certain things you can do to intercede in that ripple, but you are limited. The only thing you can do is to make better decisions before, right? So I think that's kind of the message of the movie, is Derek, the main character, played by Edward Norton, was a good fucking kid who was radicalized by his father being murdered and I believe his father was a firefighter who was killed by a drive-by or something in the hood while he was trying to pull people out of a building or some shit. That's what radicalized him. And the whole point of the movie was he wasn't a bad person. He was a good kid who was hurt, right? And he realized what a mistake it was to turn to hate, but it was too late. It was too late. Too late to save his brother and his family. Too late to undo the harm, right?
So yeah, that's the lesson. It's, you can turn your back on hate, but touching it in the first place is risking.
The deeper you go into it, the more it's going to cost you when you come out, and the more damage you're going to do to the people around you, right? To a certain extent, even their lives in danger because of it, right? What are you going to do? Was the American Afghanistan retreat from the U.S. is biggest military failure ever? I don't know about that. It's definitely up there. I mean, the Vietnam War and the whole Southeast Asian War is definitely claimed more human life and caused more tragedy, and adjusted for inflation might have even cost more just in money.
Yeah, I think like with Afghanistan, like it was a failure, but it was a failure with a little bit less death than some other failures we had.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a huge lesson, and a whole bunch of people died in Afghanistan. I'm not trying to minimize that, but I mean, when you look at American interventionism in Southeast Asia, you're talking about like conservatively 6 to 8 million people in the dirt over there, and probably closer to like 15 million people dead over that. So those numbers are kind of hard to compete with in the modern age. So it's kind of hard for me to answer anything but Vietnam. But yeah, it was a big, black eye for American hegemony to leave that place that we had talked all of this big noise about turning into a flourishing democracy, and pledging our unwavering support to the people there, and then to just leave, and to leave all of our equipment in the hands of their oppressors was just like...
Well, that plus like locking up all the money in the country. So like, yeah, I get not wanting to fund the terrorists that they knew were going to take over the country, but
Right.
they have no money, and then no one can eat.
Right. Well, I mean, they just they threw the people of Afghanistan to the wolves, and I'll be honest with you, it's not the first time. If you look at us arming Afghanistan against the Soviet Empire, we promised the world to those people, and then when they accomplished what we wanted them to accomplish, when they were no longer strategically advantageous to us, We threw them to the fucking wolves. We left them alone. And you know what that caused? That caused insurgency in the country. That caused a huge turn towards religious fundamentalism in the country. And it caused a sense of anger that one could say directly led to the attacks of 9/11, right? So this is the repercussions that America faces for its interventionist foreign policy. We go, we butt fuck a country, and then we leave them to the wolves. And when they finally do recover, part of their tenets is they hate us with a passion. What are you going to do? Afghanistan is never going to trust America ever again.
You can see the opposite with like Japan. Like we did some heavy nation building, but we also never left Japan.
We made a commitment to stabilizing that country and bringing it into the modern age and shit by hook or by crook, and we did it.
And we've left our bases there and
Right.
shit. So.
Right. And we still consider them like, you know, our closest ally, or one of our closest allies. We fund their government. We support their imports.
Yeah. We didn't let them have their own army for a while.
Right.
We were there.
They only recently now, and even now, their kind of like National Defense Force or whatever is overseen by the American military. We just never stopped. Mm-hmm. Right. And that was kind of, I think, the assumption that a lot of people were under with Afghanistan, right?
That we were just going to basically just stay in some capacity.
Just nation build and get it on its feet and get it productive and scalp a lot of that money away and provide it with the fucking kind of cloak of America or whatever. That seems to be like our most humane choice after going in and fucking up that whole country for no reason, by the way, because the dude we were trying to bomb wasn't even there. Isn't that great? The dude we were desperately trying to kill and his closest allies weren't anywhere in Afghanistan when we bombed it to dust. Isn't that great? Yeah. They're not allowed to call it the Japanese army. They're not allowed to have a standing army. They have a Japanese self-defense force. It's a national compact that if there is some sort of invasion of Japan, there is some sort of armed military response in Japan ready to go. That's it.
But they're not allowed to do like training exercises.
Not without
Chinese
us.
Water.
They're allowed to do training exercises with us. They're allowed to have a few of the jets that we lease to them for their self-defense force on our aircraft carrier, and we let their pilots fly training missions with our pilots so they learn how to do it. Right? But they are not allowed to project their power off their island ever without us in tow. Right? They can't just start threatening another country. They can't send troops anywhere. It's just nuh-uh. Self-defense. That's all you're allowed. Crazy, but that's the truth. That's the way it works.
Yeah, that's part of what fucked them up. This weird, like, cradle they got put under.
Yes. Well, I mean, fuck them up is kind of harsh, right? Like, there's a lot of things about Japanese society that are really enviable, right? But psychologically, yeah, you can imagine. Like, imagine a country that was nuked twice. And then the people, like, they were this empire, and their whole idea was we'll fight to the last person. And then all of a sudden their emperor says, lay down your arms, I'm abdicating. Right? And the shock of that, the culture shock of that, I don't think I'll ever leave that country, at least not, you know, within the next couple thousand years, assuming the timeline continues, right? Like, that's just it's unimaginable.
You think it had anything to do with their like work culture, like because they were so limited and what they could be prideful in?
Well, that's, I mean, they already had that though.
Yeah.
And see, so they, like, it's a beautiful blending of their traditional Japanese artisan kind of jobs with the modern Western economy, right? So they embraced Western economic ideals entirely. They had no choice, right? And as a result of that, yes, I think that has a lot to do with their work culture. But I think it has more to do with just overarching Japanese culture. It's an honor society, right? Like people don't like. There's what was I can't remember the two things. There's like, what are the main drivers of social adaptation in different parts of the world? And there are shame-based societies and guilt-based societies. So there are societies like ours who look to assign guilt, and then there are societies like China which look to apply social shame as a way to keep people from transgressing, right?
Yeah, like the American dream is almost like this bear over you. Like you're supposed to do
Right.
X, Y, and Z. You're a failure if you don't do X, Y, and Z.
Right. My great grandfather was a military general who lived in and had to rebuild Hiroshima. I've always thought part of why he and his Japanese wife died younger was I mean, yeah, it could have been the radiation, yeah. Could have been just the exposure to that, you know. Could have been a number of other things, though. If you don't know, you don't know, but.
Well, there's a lot of. The thing is, when you blow something up, a lot of other shit gets blown up too.
Yeah.
Like with the Twin Towers, all the stuff that the buildings are made out of, fucking fuck people up.
Oh yeah, and just the materials that it was, yeah, the material like the asbestos and the concrete and the fucking shit. I mean, there was a dust cloud over Manhattan for like 10 days after the attack, and the first responders were, a lot of them were all in there without proper breathing equipment and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, Japan is utterly co-owned by the West, right? So all of their hugest companies, as Phoebes is pointing out, have large ownership stakes in other Western companies, right? Or like they've given large ownership stakes to other Western companies. So, yeah, I don't know.
They also operate on a lot of debt. Their debt to GDP ratio is like 200%.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're in hock to us forever.
Yeah.
Right. That debt is expressed by American subsidy, right? It's covered by American subsidy. So they're an ongoing project. Like South Korea is the same thing, right? America dumps an enormous amount of money into that economy and subsidizes that economy to a huge extent, right? That's the old kind of nation building. New nation building hopes to capitalize on the revolutionary spirit of the people, give them a government and then leave and let them handle it, and it just doesn't work, right? America wants to nation build, it needs to stay forever, in perpetuity.
I mean, that's why the British Empire was so successful for so long.
Right.
Because they made the colonies 100% theirs.
Yep. They moved part of the population to these places and staffed these places with British nationals, and it was just, yeah. I mean, that's how you do it. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna have an empire, you can't have an empire that's entirely remote. You have to be there.
Like, I think Richard Dawkins grew up part of his childhood in South Africa, I believe. Yeah.
That's a whole other ball of wax there, right? Do you think both Japan and Germany are USA colonies? To a certain extent, yes.
Germany less though. They kind of got nation built by Europe too.
Well, I mean, but you could make the argument that Europe itself is a colony of the United States due to how much it's subsidized by the United States and overseen by the United States. The military power of Europe is the military power of the alliance that Europe has with the United States. Europe's military is a fucking joke. A joke without us. So the United States basically has an ongoing nation-building project in Germany, right? We've allowed them a lot more autonomy due to the superstructure of the EU. We oversee that, so we don't need to micromanage Germany anymore. But we did for a generation, right? And we didn't go until there was a superstructure imposing our will that didn't require, but there's still American military bases all over Germany.
There's also a different cultural response. Like, there's a lot more war crime denial in Japan than there is in Germany.
Well, yeah, because we enforced upon their culture that they were not going to repaint what they did. Mm-hmm. That was part of the nation building we did there. You're not allowed to foment a alternate form of history about what happened in this country.
Whereas in Japan, wanted to get one over on China so quickly after that it didn't want to make them feel too bad about it.
Right. France has a pretty strong military. Pretty strong in comparison to what? Not me. Right? Not in America. Like, no military. You could take the militaries of the next 10 largest militaries in the world, and America's got it beat still. It's obscene how much money we spend on our military. So, big in comparison to what?
And that's not even reflecting, like, because the budget of clandestine organizations aren't exactly itemized.
Yeah. And there are certain countries, it's like China has a bigger standing army than the U.S. does. They have more soldiers ready to fight than the U.S. does. But what don't they have? 17 giant S-class aircraft carriers, an entire fleet of F-35 Lightnings. Any of that shit. They have a whole fleet of nuclear-armed submarines. They don't have any of this shit. Right?
And we kind of count the standing armies of NATO countries as our army.
Yeah. I'm gonna sneeze. Or am I? Oh, thank goodness. I hate them cuck sneezes, where it feels like you're gonna sneeze and then you're cucked out of a sneeze.
Do you have any meds today or no?
Mm-hmm. Made coffee too.
Yeah, I did have some coffee.
Okay, good.
Did you want to start the Allegra again? Do you think it's been long enough to try to see if it works again?
Yeah, maybe. I didn't take any of that. They do have the hypersonic missiles, which we don't have. I mean, dude, it just, go look at the numbers, man. They may have this, that. Like I said, they've got a huge standing army. What good is that going to do when you can kill them from fucking 72 miles away? Right? Well, it's a whole different jet. It's not a close-range dogfighting jet. It is a max engagement range stealth fighter. Thank you, baby.
I feel bad for your poor allergies.
Oh my God, bro. They've been so bad this morning, too. I woke up and I blew my nose. I was grossing people in. I feel like a fucking half gallon of snot came out of me when I blew my nose today. It was fucking gross. Give me that bowl. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that ball.
You want Mama to do
Oh,
it?
easy. He wants a mama throw. Mama's better at throwing than Dad is.
I'm just angled better right now.
The grass is lava. Why do you treat the grass like lava, D? Just a goober. Oh, yeah. Starting to get very, like, military nerdy in here. I don't want to talk about military. I don't want to be, like, bonering military hardware. I was trying to make a point about strength, the overall strength. Let's not, like, get lost in the fucking cyclical nature of bonering up over new technology. Let's just move. Let's move to something else. Because quite honestly, with so many people dying all over the world because of this technology, it kind of makes me sick.
Plus, shit was just cooler back in the day, even though it wasn't as practical.
Well, yeah.
Like those old weapons and
Old
shit
school,
that you
cool. Yeah. Are you an American? No, sir. No, sir. Never. I am a Britisher. Why is the pursuit of happiness enshrined in the U.S. law, Paul? Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't it be? If you have any fucking rights at all as a human being, shouldn't the pursuit of your own happiness be it? Right? I'm a Britisher, sir. Because of the founders of this country ostensibly valued the idea that happiness itself is a virtue. Yeah. Your contentment and happiness should be the baseline of your human right. And the fact that our justice system is so overall bad at enforcing that and interacting with it speaks ill of our country. But the fact that it is enshrined in our Constitution speaks well of our country. Right. It meant the ability to benefit from your contribution to society and to find a niche in that society and to have a family and a home in that society. That's really what it meant, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there needs to be, I think the left needs to adopt a new economic Bill of Rights. And I think that needs to be the basis of the left from here on out. I think it needs to be people have a right to a good job, a good home, adequate vacation time and leisure time to pursue other things in their lives, the ability to have a family. That needs to, all of it needs to be enshrined, right? And the left needs to start pushing that immediately. Step back from the identity politics and get back to that blue collar messaging, or else. Oh, man. I don't know what I can do, but I think the next time I go to the doctor, my main doctor, I'm going to talk to them about like physical therapy or something, because it's just like, I am so fatigued because I'm in pain every second of every day. I'm just never comfortable. My back, my neck, my shoulders, they're just fucked. And I don't want to go get surgery. Like, I'd rather just live with it if that's the case, because that's spooky shit. But it's so fatiguing to me to be in pain all day. As soon as I wake up, I'm in pain. I'm sitting here now, I'm in pain. There's no position I can be in that doesn't put me in pain. One of the only places I can be that where I'm not in pain is laying down in my nice bed. And even there, I'm in pain. I've lost a lot of weight. And I continue to lose weight. The problem is that my back, neck, and other joints are severely damaged from years and years and years of hard labor. And I deal with that now every day, almost every second of every day. And it sucks. It's a burden that if that was off my shoulders, I feel like my life would be better, just off top. But I just don't know if there's a route to it.
Have you ever tried physical therapy ever, or no?
Yes. Yeah. When I was young. And it helped to a certain extent, but it was very minor and not long term. But I'm just in pain all fucking day. And I try not to let it drag me down, but it does.
And it's fucked up how, like, sometimes if you go to the doctor with that, they're either dismissive or they want you to go straight to surgery.
Yeah. Why you gotta go? Why you gotta go all the way right away?
Stay with Dad.
Stay with me on my lap for just like 10 seconds. Let the people see how regal and beautiful you are. Let me tuck your chain.
So hyper. Oh, I know what he wants.
Oh, it's brekkie time. Got it.
Nice.
I see. He wants breakfast. Dinor's brekkie. Long time chatter, first time viewer here. What? I'm a 38-year-old man who you would call a NEET. My mom and my wife both financially support you. That sucks. Is there really that much difference between you begging fans for money and me begging my two biggest fans for money? How am I begging fans for money, bro? Have I asked for money one time this stream? What are you talking about, homie? Does that make you feel better about yourself? 38 years old and your wife and mom support everything you do. You do nothing to add to that. You want a pat on the back? Whatever, dude. That is definitely the retarded comment of the day so far. You got it. You locked it in, bro. Sounds like a troll. Yeah, could be. Could be. I have no internet access for the last 2 days and I already wish I didn't get back on. Hey, man, maybe you need to unplug, you know?
Yeah. Did you survive those 2 days?
Yeah, those 2 days felt good, then you could just have that all the time.
Yeah, just reluctantly check your email like
Yeah.
once a week or whatever.
Make sure mom's not trying to hit you up, you know, but
Yeah,
like otherwise.
Call me on my dumb phone, not my... Don't message me on Facebook kind of shit.
Yeah. Paul, is it wrong of me to enjoy when you smite brain dead trolls in the chat that have nothing to contribute? No, I enjoy doing it too.
You can also smite them yourself, bro.
That is true.
You are a mod.
You are a mod. You have the powers. You could just go pew and they disappear. Nah, NEETs are just lazy people that are looking to excuse their intransigence. That's all it is.
It's not like they're taking something broadly from society like landlords. Like,
no.
They're not. I mean, they're taking their family members' labor, I suppose, but it's not like they're...
It's not like mass exploitation.
Yeah.
It's just they're putting themselves in stasis. And the problem, as I see it, isn't that the fact that they're in that stasis. It's the fact that they want to be in that stasis, but they want to contribute broadly to other conversations. But they haven't met the minimum standard, right? Like, why would I listen to you about your economic predictions if you're sitting at home doing fucking literally nothing, right? And your mom is supporting you and your dad is supporting you. It's like, what do you got to say about anything? That's the problem, right? So
it's also very like present thinking.
What do you mean?
Like being in that stasis, like you're not looking towards the future in any way.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like being present minded is okay. Yeah. But your present is you're a leech. You know what I mean? You're a drag on somebody who probably like thought of you being on your own years ago and was hoping to like maybe sell their house, downsize, and start saving for retirement. But now they've got to keep you and your sour balls housed and fed, right? Aren't trust fund babies NEETs as well? Yeah. Yeah.
But not to the same extent, because they're not taking as much from their parents.
I mean, they are, but they're just...
Like,
they're
like proportionally.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
It'd be like the difference between, like, someone like getting rent for free and someone getting a sandwich for free.
Right. Yeah. What do you do? How is Paul, a successful businessman looking to move to a new area in stasis? Huh? Somebody said I was in stasis? Yeah, whatever. Got that display pic you asked for. Thanks, bud. You picked the brainlet Wojak. The flat-headed Wojak. Cool. Whatever you want, bro. You finally did it, dude. After all this time. Probably feels good, man. It's like a new suit. I was a NEET, then I went to Job Corps. I found it, followed my community college. Now I have a degree and I'm married. How did that happen? Crazy. That's crazy, dude. How did that fucking happen? You must have just gotten real lucky. 17-year-old mod? No. He's had no profile pic for 17 years. Would you ever have merch, Paul? Or is that not something you would do? My own personal merch? All my merch runs through the other business. I don't really see like a point in competing with myself. So I don't have any plans in the near future to do merch of myself, but maybe. Has YouTube been a thing for 17 years? I started doing YouTube in 2006. So it's been a thing for almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's old enough to vote now.
Yeah. If YouTube was a person, it could vote. And you could fuck it legally. There you go. Just went to the grocery store, rang up my groceries, and realized I forgot my wallet. Whamp, whamp. Bet you wish you had an implant where you could just go boop.
Or, like, get the fucking Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Yeah, get something, dude. Get something.
Yeah, they have it to where you can just use your phone to fucking pay to a lot of the machines now. Let's do that, bro. Hook up your card.
Give a little sample of your DNA. Bloop. A little drop of blood, and it pulls it out of your account, you know? Come on.
Oh, want more?
Whoa, that was a scramble.
Yeah. Give it. That's it.
Having an ambient moment. I love them birdies. Why are they growling? Oh, D just loves a fetch.
Yeah, he was doing the no take only throw.
Yeah.
His growl really isn't even how he shows aggression, mostly. It's that giant piercing bark that's
Yep.
more aggressive.
Yep. It's